What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 311. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And we're still shrinking down without him.
This week we finally got to watch Ant-Man.
Yeah, boy.
And boy, they upped the ante, did they?
No pun intended.
So I guess for me, one of the things I want to get out of the way is this is another one of those movies. It's a filter in the comic book movies because it is so ridiculous that if you ain't down, then like you're gonna cut this thing off quick.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I'm gonna cut straight to the chase here. Enjoyed the first Ant-Man, one of my favorites. Second Ant-Man was okay. Like it wasn't as good in my opinion as the first one. This one comes out, go to the movies and see it. I enjoyed. Okay, they had to do a lot of world building really, really, really fast.
yeah,
And to me, this could have been something that they worked on over time, and they kind of have with the quantum realm thing and all that kind of stuff. Like, but it's all like rumor based. Like he was stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years. He thought and it was only like 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes for him. You know, didn't experience any of this. She comes out of the quantum realm, doesn't think to say anything about. Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this up, dude, because that was one of my biggest problems with the movie. Was I had my gripes, but it's like I was more bothered by the fact that when she came out of the quantum realm, didn't say shit about any of this.
Yeah. No, didn't need to.
Well, had she said something, maybe the girl wouldn't have made the fucking beacon thing.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is like Hank is always going to be that person that's like, oh, there's an entire like civilization and species down here. Like, yeah, let's go. And she's like, you don't understand. It's bad. Like, there's someone that's trapped in there that does not need to get out, and he can't get out at the moment. So we need to keep it that way. But like this could have been something because like, didn't they end Ant-Man 2 with them exploring the quantum realm? That's how he got stuck inside the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So why
Like they were doing the very experiment at like when the snap happened that they did in the beginning of this one.
Yeah, exactly. So that to me was one of the turnoffs.
More specifically, what they weren't necessarily exploring the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man 2. What they were doing was going down there and getting PIM particles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But still though, like I'm under the impression that if you open up a portal or not really a portal, but once you like cross over into the quantum realm, then for sure at this point, Kang, and at any point before this, Kang was going to know that somebody has like broke through new ground.
Yeah.
So that's where I was just like, this is kind of an odd situation here where it's like, he went to the quantum realm and it's like, oh, Darren came through and I turned him into MODOK. So how did this happen? And oh, there's a dude that is actively using the quantum realm to like do shit with. Maybe we should be on the lookout for this guy. It's like,
and I think like for me, and it's not really a complaint, more so as an observation, but to kind of go with the idea that, the second one was what it was, it still felt like it was the continuation of the first movie. This one didn't at all. Like it's like they took the Thor Ragnarok approach and applied it to Ant-Man.
Welcome back. That whole first scene.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Spider-Mans.
And here was my problem. I've got a couple of major problems with how this movie ended and the implications that they set forth. First of all, why wasn't Scott Lang trapped in the quantum realm? Like, they should have ended the movie with him being trapped in the quantum realm, first of all. Second of all, if they're going to not have him be trapped in the quantum realm and she just opens it back up and everything's fine, why did they not have him go into another reality?
Because it's like it's a no stakes ending.
Exactly.
No
Yeah,
stakes here.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
By him being
Well,
stuck there, that's one.
yeah, well, the whole thing, yeah, because the whole thing with him, like with them circling back, going full circle with him walking down the street, and he's like, "But wait a second,
Yeah.
surely we won't see that guy again.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll stay there." And it gets
Yeah.
real serious and weird for a second. He goes, "Ah, whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
no, never mind. I'm
Was he the
fucking
good
Paul
guy?
Rudd."
Said
Yeah,
he said he had to get out to stop something.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like it should have ended one of those two ways because like Ant-Man was the savior of the MCU at the end of the day, right? And that's
yeah.
another thing. The
Well,
Avengers used the quantum realm to time travel with, and Kang's not going to be like, who are the fuck are these guys flying through the fucking quantum realm, traveling
well,
time?
Well, if you recall, though, it's explained in Loki because there's even a moment where when Kang's doing his "Why I'm Evil" shit, he's holding the that hologram in his hand, and it's the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, okay, they call him the Conqueror all throughout the movie, so this version, this villain we see is Kang the Conqueror, is he not?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Well, that
Like he's
version of
fucking
him, yeah.
No, but Kang the Conqueror is dead, like the primary one. Like he's supposed to be the big bad of them all, the one that's like, I'm going to different universes and or to
Well, he
different
was the
timelines.
one that claimed he beat them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, there was all the statues were torn down. There was only one.
Yeah.
It was
So
him.
with him being gone, that means we're going to get a different Kang the Conqueror. That's going to be like the one that we thought this one was, right?
I would assume so. I don't know.
Well, and where
I
the
have
fuck
no.
did that one go?
Yeah.
He went into that shit. Like, did it kill him?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think so because it didn't destroy
Yeah.
that that power source, that core thing. So like, why would? And then and okay, so we've got all this shit going on, all this stuff is happening, and it's like they could have used that as like him being trapped in there. We got to save Ant Man, and the chicks down there, like researching the technology. Use that as a leg up and a reason to go into the quantum realm to bring Ant-Man back to help fight. And he has some information that helps them be successful with some of Kang's technology. Didn't write that into it. Put him in a different timeline, different universe. Then we've got to go get Ant-Man back, or maybe whenever an incursion happens or something like that. Like that's whenever he crosses over with Loki, something like that happens. That didn't happen. Whatever. You're gonna have Kang's first like official bad guy portrayal in the MCU get his ass beat by Ant-Man and like not really die but get beat. So does that mean that every incarnation of Kang that we see moving forward is going to get beat by the Avengers? And by the time that you get to that actual pivotal moment where where the Avengers are fighting against Kang, is the audience going to have the same reaction to Kang that they did to Thanos because they've seen him get beat time and time and time again?
See, the only way I feel like they're going to do though is they're going to build up. They're going to continue to build up Kang and Loki, obviously.
Yeah,
Like that's going to be, instead of getting an Infinity War for Kang the Conqueror, where it's his perspective. Instead of that, we're just going to get the Loki show that's going to set him up. We're gonna have to constantly keep seeing him over and over and over, to where by the time we get to the fucking ricketiest Rick of all of them, and
yeah,
he shows up like that, like that's the only way I can see the stakes get raised, or until Marvel starts being risky and having movies end where the hero's dead.
yeah,
Because I was on board with the idea of them killing off Ant-Man in this movie.
yeah. I mean, either kill him or leave him trapped in the quantum realm or put him in a new
Well,
reality.
this would have been a cool idea. because the whole thing is that he threatens Scott Lang. He goes, "You're either going to help me or I'm going to kill your family in front of you. Like I'm going to fuck you up, Scott."
Yeah.
Well, it would have been interesting if he had taken all three of them hostage.
Hmm.
All three of them have suits. They're all touting PIM particles. He takes those particles from them, so they can't get out of there. Like
Yeah.
they have to bear witness to Kang wreaking havoc across everything,
Yeah.
and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
that would be a gut wrenching moment seeing the most innocent of the Avengers having to witness all this fucked up stuff happening.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, it was just, I wanted to like this movie so much, but like the decisions that were made, the choices, especially towards the end of the film, and the implications that it set up overall as a whole, just left a really sour taste in my mouth, man.
Well, I don't. I honestly, I enjoyed it, but I felt like I enjoyed it in the idea of like kind of like in the same vein as Loki.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a very high budget episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Um, one of the things that I did notice that was like, man, that kind of sucks, is that you could tell that this movie was like 75% filmed on the volume because some of the set pieces were really empty feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even moments where they were somewhere that had stuff like a little bit of scene setup, a little bit of like stage production, it still felt very empty. Everything was behind them.
Yeah.
And the quantum realm looked great. I don't know if you guys noticed, but every time it would show on different portals, each of those portals looked like the color of an infinity stone,
Yeah.
which begged me to wonder if when Kang said that he's wanting to conquer eternity, does that mean he's trying to fight literally eternity, the thing at the end of Love and Thunder?
Yeah. Which is a possibility, which is crazy to think about, but
Yeah, like despite how we're getting our servings of this shit, we're still getting
yeah.
them, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you'd like once again, like what, like from Infinity War and Endgame onward, we're in that realm of movies now where if you had told us 20 years ago that we were going to see a movie with Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man, we'd have laughed at you in the face,
Yeah.
been like, no fucking way. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No way they'd spend that much money. And then we all look at the camera and break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Little did they know. But
But but I didn't
yeah.
I didn't hate the movie because I mean it's like going into it, it is an Ant-Man movie. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing or a precursor for it to be not as good, but
Silly goose time.
Ant-Man is the comedic relief of
Yeah.
the Avengers.
Yeah.
100%. Like Spider-Man might have it from time to time, but whenever the big team ups have been happening since Infinity War or since Civil War, actually, um, it's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't really hate MODOK as much as the
I
internet
didn't
did.
either.
I thought that was funny.
I think MODOK was a filter.
She was like trying to be a dick, and he's like, "Too late.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look what
It's
do
like,
I
you
do?
do it like a dick."
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have a problem with Ant-Man either. I thought it was hilarious that they fucking CGI'd his ass cheeks. I thought all that shit was fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Like like the comedy was absolutely where I thought it would be. And I did. And the thing about it is you have a character called Kang the Conqueror, characters called the Wasp, Ant-Man. I forget what his daughter's name is, what her hero name is. And then you've got MODOK. All of those characters are utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
And
I feel like there's a sense going into it. Like I guess my gripes were more on a production level because while there were inconsistencies in the narrative, it's almost like the movie knew it was not going to be taken as seriously as, say, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
Like it knew its place in the world, so it knew not to be anything more than that, which kind of sucks because it kind of like could rob itself of possibilities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it was an interesting choice to make Kang fight Ant-Man as our first fucking testing of what Kang can do.
Well, and I loved like I wanted the ant thing as a whole anyway. That's a like I love the fight sequences that Ant-Man and Kang had where it was like whenever he like hits him, grows big and smashes him into that wall and he's just like you like whenever you see Scott Lang break bad. And that's
Oh,
kind of what
dude, when he shows up at the end and he's like, "We had a deal, motherfucker," and he just starts
yeah,
wrecking his city kaiju style.
yeah.
I was like, "Hell yeah, man!"
Yeah, there
And
was a lot to love with
the
the way that
situations were awesome.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um all I'm gonna like this is where I stand on it, and this is kind of imply what my score is gonna be for the film. But like depending on how they handle the rest of this arc of the MCU is really gonna determine like how my thought process and feelings toward Ant-Man is gonna go moving forward. Because the biggest thing to me was like if we see a version of Kang show because they've already rumored that um Pharaoh Kang might be the main villain in um
Moon
Moon
Knight.
Knight. Yeah. So, and if we use that as like a jumping off point, and it's this thing where it's like, okay, you know, we have our street level heroes doing our street level shit, but everybody else is going to be fighting different versions of Kang. It's like whenever Kang, like the big bad Kang or all the Kangs or whatever show up, it's like, yeah, he's a badass, but if Ant-Man beat him, you know, and if Moon Knight beats him,
Yeah.
and if Loki beats him, and if we keep going down that rabbit hole, then it's like, oh, well, they've got this.
Well,
He
well,
needs to start killing people.
there's yeah, and there's got to be some sort of moment where they take the time to explain that the Kangs that are all vying for Apex Predator, the one that fought Ant Man is just one of them. Like because if you think about it, the baddest Kang of them all wouldn't have made the decisions that Kang made to bother even going to the quantum realm to fucking begin with.
Well, he was exiled there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the same time though, like he wouldn't have made those mistakes because
Yeah,
the whole logic to Kang's character is that the reason why he's so hard to beat is because for a certain amount of time traveling that he's done, he knows what everyone's going to do at any given moment.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's his quote unquote super intelligence. Like he knows that at this point this hero is going to get pissed and do this, so he can move out of like it's all calculated to where he knows he's a step ahead everyone because he knows it.
yeah,
So we haven't seen that Kang that has been so far into the future that he's like, no, I know how to handle all this shit. I'm just gonna let all these motherfuckers fight over competition and then snuff out the top dog so that this shit don't happen again.
right. Yeah, it makes me interested to see like how they handle things moving forward. There was a lot to love about it. There was a lot of stuff that I kind of had gripes about, but at the end of the day, like Paul Rudd's so charming.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I could watch him in literally anything. And like if he would have been trapped in the quantum realm and we didn't see him again and his daughter kind of took up the mantle of Ant-Man until they figured out how to get him out of there, this, that, and the other, I would have been fun. I would have kind of preferred that because it's like to me, they have kind of utilized Ant-Man and Spider-Man in the best ways possible when it comes to like team up stuff.
Yeah.
Like they
One
slot
thing one thing that I thought was really cool, like as far as like Scott Lang and all that, and it's something that I've enjoyed with these movies is that like yeah, Scott Lang is Ant-Man, but Hank Pym is very much Ant-Man and very much front and present throughout the movies.
Yeah.
And you have that almost triumphant moment where he sicks the army of the ants on Kang and all of them, and he just has this moment where Michael Douglas is just standing there, and you're just like, "No, dude, we've got it all wrong. Like he's fucking Ant-Man, dude. Like
He was
he's
like,
Yeah.
"Is this
he's
you?"
the
He was like,
like
"Oh
he's
yeah."
the OG motherfucker, dude. Like, and yeah,
He got to say
and
all the cuss words in the movie.
Yeah.
right. I feel like it had to be in his contract where he was like, "Look, I got to say something other than just, gee, Scott,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
ants." Like
Yeah.
that and fisting that ship.
Yeah. Right.
Gotta go
that fucking
deeper.
that was hilarious.
Holes.
Yeah, I love her. He was like, hey, you drink the ooze yet? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I make the ooze. he's like, I have hole. I
Yeah.
have holes. Like I hope that there's another version in the real world in like another universe where that whole character is voiced by Justin Roiland as like Morty's voice.
Yeah.
Like, gee, did you drink the ooze? Have you drank it yet?
Did you? Huh?
Mhm.
Which I thought that was really fucking cool. Like,
Yeah.
you drink that, and it's like, all right, now you can understand everybody down here.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That was a cool way to, be like, all right, we're not gonna waste
Make
a
that
whole
make
lot of
sense.
money making fucking yeah, like,
Yeah.
and dude, Bill Murray.
Oh,
I mean, showed up for dinner. Man, what a dinner!
And he was like crushing on his old fling.
Oh, dude, I love that. I love that old man joke where he was like, I knew a few people, and Michelle Pfeiffer's like, what about her? And he's like, baby, they ain't you, and they just fucking,
Mm.
you know what I mean? I was like, that's for the
Yeah.
old people in the crowd.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, like definitely wasn't the worst Marvel movie they've made for sure. Um, I mean, really, how they handle this moving forward is going to kind of make my thoughts on Ant-Man kind of fluctuate. And I think like the same with Doctor Strange and some of the other things that we've
Well, they're
seen. It's
stepping
like,
stone movies, man. You have
yeah,
your tentpole movies where it's like, here's where some heavy overall plot gets discussed and done. And because really the only thing that was centric to the Ant-Man story in this was just Scott and Cassie.
yeah,
Everything outside of that was pure like, all right, this is where a lot of stuff we've been building up to is at. All right, here's a big little like flashy key dangling moment for y'all.
yeah.
But we know it's not the end. We know it's not even really the beginning.
Yeah. I
And
do like,
and those stepping stone films, they're hard to have revisits because they're so safe
yeah,
or nothing really of substantial happens.
yeah. I do like how they portrayed him and his daughters, um, like their relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I do like how she's kind of like into doing a lot of the same things that he's doing, and he's like flirting this line of being like an overprotective dad and all this kind of. But then, like whenever they get into the quantum realm, he's like, you got to put your body weight into it, and he's like that. Did you see what I did? And she's like, you're this tall. Like, no, I didn't see any. Like their chemistry and back and forth.
Yeah.
Has been,
Like in any other father-daughter movie scenario, he would have been the one that is waking up with a hangover. She's making eggs. She's like, fucking, here's the coffee. Sober up, Dad. You got an interview at 11.
yeah, 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 exactly, right.
well, when they
Yeah,
finally pass the torch, dude, I think she'll be a good.
yeah, I think she
I
will.
enjoy
Yeah,
the character.
It definitely, yeah. In going with the torch passing thing, this dynamic feels the most natural of the ones we've seen so far.
yeah, for sure.
Once again, the new hero's got a kid. I mean,
Yeah,
this one's had one, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Had to be a kid.
The last thing that I'm gonna touch on is every like child version of the heroes that we're getting, or like variations of them. Are they all going to be super geniuses?
Yeah.
And like, how quickly is that going to get old?
Well, I hope it builds up to a moment where the ghost of Tony Stark shows up and is like, "Y'all are still nothing close to who I am."
Well, I mean,
Like the power gap is like the intelligence
The
gap
skill
is
gap.
so vast
yeah,
that like you guys are doing impressive shit. Don't get me wrong, but I invented time travel.
yeah,
You know,
right. Well, and
like
it,
they're because and I think it's adding to the legacy of Iron Man because it's going to take that many fucking geniuses to achieve what one guy was doing by himself
yeah,
for so fucking long, you know?
right. But like, it's hard to wrap my brain around that concept when like they're fixing to introduce Mister Fantastic. You know what I mean?
Well, once again, I think I mean, and you could pivot that same concept from Iron Man to him to where it's like when Reed Richards shows up, it's like, oh, he's got Jarvis plus one. You know what I mean? Like he's on
Yeah,
a whole other level than all these fucking kids. And almost to the point where the audience will go, all right, he's smarter than Tony Stark.
yeah,
But I see what you're saying. It's absolutely front and present, like for sure.
yeah,
But I'm hoping that is almost building up to a moment where, like one of my favorite moments in the Iron Man series is when he finds that footage of his dad and he's just musing to himself and he goes, "You've been dead for so many years and you're still kicking my ass and teaching me shit." Like that was a good moment.
yeah.
And I hope we get something like that too, where Tony Stark still schools them from the grave, like a hologram's like, "You guys are fucking stupid. Here's why. Let me show you in long division why you're stupid." And he pulls a
Right.
fucking board out.
Yeah. But all in all, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a half star with an asterisk because like they could have done so much more. I know they took the safe bet with it because it was the third Ant-Man movie, this, that, and the other, and it could be leading up to like the things that were developed here could absolutely be expanded on in really cool and interesting ways that I haven't even thought about. That's why I'm kind of holding out on a lot of it just to see what they do and where they take everything. Because like I don't want to get supervillain fatigue. And like Marvel had this bad history of like, okay, you have a hero, we're gonna make a carbon copy as the villain, and you're gonna fight in the first movie, and that villain's gonna die, and we're gonna move on. Now it's like we're gonna have the hero fight the exact same, like different variations of the same villain over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like you can do better than you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so
Well, yeah, you can, you know, the the villain almost has to carry the film because it's the consequence of the hero's
Oh, and he
actions.
did.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
the best
He
part of
was
the film for
badass.
sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Jonathan Majors' performance was
Yeah.
great.
Really good.
Like no qualms with that at all. Um, but I agree with you in terms of like, but that's always that's the thing though, man. That's the nature of superheroes though.
Yeah.
You go back into any issue one or any first movie and they just fight the inverted version of themselves. It's always the first fucking villain you fight's the mirror match. You got to fight yourself first.
Yeah.
And we got it in Iron Man, we've got it in all of them basically. But that'll always be a thing. But my concern is going to be, all right, we're going to introduce Kang. Okay, well, we're still dealing with the scrolls. Okay, we're about to get introduced to Doctor Doom at some point. All right, that's a thing. Well, we've also got to make a little bit of room for the Brotherhood of Mutants to start forming, and when the X Men show up, like There's going to be so many different people fighting on so many different fronts that instead of fatigue, you're just not going to have we will obviously be like, yes, we're watching all of this. Fuck yeah. But
Yeah.
general audiences are going to be like, fuck that, man. I don't want to watch that shit. And maybe it's at an angle where they're trying to give it to where the viewer has more options. Oh, you don't want to fight something, you don't want to watch something that deals with them battling in space. All right, well, here's some street level shit. Go watch it instead.
Yeah.
But it's going to become just as tangled as their current multiverse is.
Yeah.
And that could be almost borderline overindulgence on Marvel's behalf.
Yeah. We'll see. I think last thing, I don't think we're going to get the official formation of the X-Men until after all of the whole Kang saga is done. I have a feeling that we're going to get X-Men, we're going to get mutants and variations of X-Men, this, that, and the other, but I don't think that we'll get the official formation of the X-Men with Professor X and Jean Grey, Cyclops, all them until after. I think the X-Men will take the mantle of the Avengers for a while after the Kang stuff is done. That's my new prediction. I think Avengers versus X-Men is definitely going to happen. I just think it's going to be the different reality versions of the X-Men fighting against the Avengers.
I
And
think in the same vein as what you're talking about, man. But I feel like the Kang saga is going to forge the X-Men.
yeah, well, I think
We're like
when they
by the time they kill Kang, the X-Men will be on screen with him.
and here's what I think. I think they're going to do the Great Reset, and it's going to put everything back into the one timeline, and it's going to be like a House of M type situation where it's going to almost restart everything. There'll be some legacy characters and everything, but that's when the X-Men will actually, like, the MCU version of the X-Men will be there.
Well, and I can see what you're saying, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took that same idea and weaved it into a way to where instead of doing Civil War 2 like the actual comic book, they kind of mash Civil War with X-Men versus Avengers, and we have this thing where it's like, all right, we got to figure out who a mutant is.
Yeah,
The like they can incorporate the idea of the Mutant Registration Act as the means of triggering the second Civil War in the Marvel universe.
right.
Because there's some mutants that are like, oh, cool, I don't care, sign me up. And then there's other ones that's like, nah, I still kind of want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah,
Why? Because I'm an Omega level mutant. I know I could harm the world, Hulk style. Just leave me be, you know?
yeah, yeah. And my general theory comes from the idea of like Deadpool and him traversing the multiverse, them bringing Hugh Jackman into it, all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like that is going to have as much to do with, um,
That would be cool if that's our first actual like you know how he creates the X Force in Deadpool 2?
yeah,
It would be cool if he time hops in Deadpool 3 and he has a multiversal X-Men team and it's our first look at the X-Men, but it's not who they're going to be when they actually show the fuck up, you know? But
yeah,
it's almost like it's that good little fan where it's like, all right, fans, y'all want to see this? We're going to give it to you, but don't think it's permanent.
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm giving it a half star with an asterisk.
Cool. What about you, G?
Half star. I did enjoy the movie, but there were no stakes.
Not them
That was my
Candyman kind, anyway.
thing.
Uh,
You should have been left behind.
Yeah,
yeah. Um, I'm gonna go with a half star as well, but with an asterisk as well.
Yeah, I mean, did enjoy it,
Yeah.
but not the
Oh,
movie I
that
thought I
that
was going to get for sure.
yeah, the asterisk is like to me, some of the production stuff was too glaring. Like I said, I felt like the sets were very empty at times. Um, like,
Whoever generated that Modoc, I would
mhm.
not put that on my CV because it didn't look the best.
Mm-mm. Um, and I think like yeah, and despite the visual effects that the movie had from time to time, I personally didn't have a problem with Modoc. I feel like I feel like it's
His
absolutely
face
a
looked weird.
filter. It's an absolute filter comic movie because this movie is comic book as fuck,
Yeah.
but it's because of technical problems, it doesn't quite fit the mold like everyone probably thought it should.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
yeah, I give it a half. So it's a straight up like 1.5 star out of 3. Dead 50-50 thing on it.
Yeah.
I think that's a worthy score. I do think and once again, it's fucking Marvel. So if people that are listening, if you're biased Marvel, you're gonna have a good time. Just
Yeah.
watch it anyway. Uh,
Absolutely.
if you're going into this movie and this is like one of the just a handful of Marvel films, Sweet Summer Child, you've got some watching to do. Go back, like, 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 hold on a second. Pause the podcast right now. Go watch the MCU, then pull this episode up and hit pause. Hold on a
See you
second.
next year.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what I'm talking about now? See what I mean? Like,
Hey, it ain't gonna remember its place that long.
yeah.
But Mandalorian.
Then Grogu.
Is this the end of the Mandalorian?
Um.
Maybe the show,
No,
but
Man.
I
that's
think
what I
they'll
mean. Like,
show up.
no, I mean,
Well, let's.
yeah,
Well, first off, as cool as that Mandalorian fight was, it just looked like a bunch of hornets flying around, a bunch of pissed off hornets. Um, it felt really safe,
yeah,
very, very safe. For crying out loud, we got a Looney Tunes ending.
yeah. We did. That's funny. That's funny. It did feel safe, but it felt very Star Wars at the same time.
Yeah, it did. I mean, my th- my thing is that like, don't get me wrong, having sat through all the Clone Wars shit now, I'm glad that there were little small payoffs to get throughout watching The Mandalorian at large, especially from season 2 to now.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, that's cool to experience it that way, but I do think that the Clone Wars plot lines hijacked this season. Um, there was so much fucking Bo Katan in this season, dude,
yeah,
and you could tell. And I'm just going to kind of blend uh, some movie news in with this. Um, word on the street is apparently when they did Book of Boba Fett, because of the way they ended Mandalorian season 2 with Grogu leaving with Luke, Mando on his own. Apparently, the powers that be, and we both know, we all know who we're talking about, um, rang up and was like, "Fix it now." And that is why we got the 2 episodes we got in Boba Fett where they come back together.
Hmm.
Is because they were like, "Nah, they got to stay together."
right.
And that was part of the decision making as to why they're suddenly back together in season 3. I think
Well,
that's bullshit. Cuz we were robbed of possibly a really great story slash journey where we have our heroes split and they're both taking different paths. and then the payoff of them coming back together was just pulled out from under us and thrown into our faces a year later.
Yeah.
Like there was no time for us to chew in anticipation for it. Wasn't a whole lot of like, and that's, like that's part of the experience of Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, echoes of the I am your father sequence where we're like, oh shit, like
Right.
having to reel off that for a while.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were kind of robbed of that. I felt also that like them destroying the dark saber just like it's no big deal was kind of like a goof. Like we're talking about the literal like Excalibur of Star Wars, and it's just it's this sword that is supposedly such a big deal to Mandalorian culture that they're just like, yeah, we're done here with it. Break.
Well, the way that I took that was like they were it's like the death of the old ideas and the old ideals of the Mandalorians dies with the dark saber. That
But in essence, though, aren't well, particularly with the Mandalorian that we're experiencing the story through, that dude is all about like preserving heritage and all of that. And I know that it wasn't him that loses it or whatever, but with a weapon being as vital as that, you know, just handing it over first off was like, what the fuck? And like, pulling the whole like, yeah, well, we're gonna throw some backyard rules out here, guys. Technically, that guy beat me, so I beat them, and they get to be it.
Right. Well, that's just like I said, that's kind of how I interpreted that. Like, and the idea is like, okay, so the crystal should still be intact, right? And it can be reforged
For
by
sure.
Grogu, which is going to be like his quest whenever he gets older, is
Now,
he's going to
I
reforge
didn't
the
think
dark
about
saber.
that, and that would be really cool if him reforging the dark saber is him doing his Jedi trials where you create your lightsaber at the end. Well, for Grogu, he creates the dark saber again. That would be fucking awesome.
Well, there's a couple of implications that come from that because think about it. Like we've read and heard and seen, like the Mandalorians are going to rebuild their society. The society is going to flourish. Then inevitably, it's going to devolve into some type of civil war because that seems to be the natural way of the Mandalorians. And what better way to try to unify the people again on his journey to becoming, the possible leader of the Mandalorians is to reforge the dark saber. So it has a couple of different things going for it. It's the way for him to do his Jedi trials. It's a way for him to unite his people in a time of turmoil. It's a way, it's got all these different things. So when they destroyed it, I was like, they're setting up for something badass in the future right there.
Well, I think just at large, and I think I brought it up before, but the whole sequence at the end where they're down there at the living waters,
Yeah.
Dan adopts Grogu. They're able to do the creed and make him a fully fledged Mandalorian now. I think it just cements my working theory that the show has always been about Grogu, and
Yeah.
that Den is just the audience's vehicle to experience Grogu's story.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like the reason why Yoda's species doesn't have a backstory is because George Lucas never made it.
Yeah.
He's a mystery character. He was there just to be this mystic figure that embodies the light side, and that's all there was to it. Like he never came up with a complex history. All that's just been fan speculation and hearsay.
Yeah.
Like you can pull it straight up from the guy's mouth, man. He's like, "No, dude, he's a magic character. He's just there." Like, and
Yeah.
so they're starting to try to cultivate that, and being able to do that, but instead of making it be about his species, adopt him into a society and make him just embellish more with that was fucking ingenious on Favreau and Filoni's part.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I do believe that the show The Mandalorian is absolutely referring to Grogu because we're seeing his full journey from becoming a foundling. He's become an apprentice now, and like by the end of it, however they get to where even if it's not on the show The Mandalorian, and we get it in a film that's hundreds of years later because his species can live long, blah blah blah. Like we're gonna get it to where like he's a fucking bounty hunting Yoda.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool to me. Like,
Yeah.
and I hope we get there eventually. I hope that we get some sort of content that depicts him in that, be it comic book, movie, video game. Don't give a shit. I just make it happen.
Right. Yeah, they kind of wrapped everything up, put a nice little bow on it. That's what makes me wonder. It's like, okay, they're going to pick up with like Ahsoka and a couple other things that they're still planning, in the pipeline. Of course, Jin and Grogu and the rest of them will show up at some point, probably in those series or that movie that Filoni's working on and everything, which is like super cool and interesting and going to be fun to watch. Um, but I mean, like it's real. Like the first season set up with like Mando, like everything that's going on, his adventures, the child, all this kind of stuff, and then it morphed so much to focus on like he kind of became a secondary character and took a back seat to Grogu, Bo-Katan, like all these other people. So it's like
Yeah.
it was very interesting how they did that, but they did it, in my opinion, in a very well orchestrated way to where it's like, okay, I kind of care about Bo Katan and everything, like getting Mandalore back up and running and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not upset that like this is happening, and
Yeah.
that they did a good job at doing that and him just be the vehicle. He like Mando was developed as the yes man. You need somebody to go save the boy that was taken by a giant dragon thing? Yes.
Well, but I do miss the days of season one where we just got the classic bounty of the week. Like I can bring you in
Yeah.
hotter, I can bring you in cold. And they did, in a way, they did reset it to where they can go back to that now because it does end with him being like, "Look, I'll work with the with the New Republic on a case by case basis." He's now got a competent child with him that
Yeah.
will help him. Like now they can go back to season one
Yeah.
in a way, I guess, and they can actually go back to doing just full on bounty hunt again, which would be fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said season
Yeah.
4 would probably come out sometime 2024.
So I mean, sheesh. And if that happens, it would lead up on 2024. They're looking at there's a movie that's playing a Star Wars movie, but it might be they may fast track Filoni's movie for a 2025 release.
Well, like, here's my thing, man, and I wonder if y'all got this same feeling too. When y'all were watching the Book of Boba Fett, when it got to that first episode with Mando, and the shot opens up, you see they're on that ship and you see the drapes, the little curtains or whatever. You see the figure walk into it. He steps through it. Out walks fucking Mando, and the motif hits the or da
Yeah.
that excitement. You're like, oh fuck, it's Mando.
I like his theme song that comes on when he
Well,
shows
my
up.
thing is that like I want to have that moment again, and I feel like the only way that we'll get it and it'll be impactful is gonna be if we let Mando and Grogu chill at their fucking crib for a while, and we let that be what it is.
Right. Yeah.
And then later on, when something happens, or like hell, have it in Ahsoka, dude. The odds are stacked against her. She's fucking doing everything she can. She's got a couple people from other shows helping her, but they're incapacitated. Some shit's going down, whatever. A ship's about to fucking show up and show out, but it gets shot the fuck down. You're like, what the hell? In comes the fucking Naboo fighter, and we're like, that's fucking Mandalorian shit, dude.
Meow, meow.
The M5.
Yeah. and he drops in and he's like, Grogu heard your fucking, like, I felt your disturbance in the Force. Like,
Can't believe you
we
showed
came.
up. This is the way.
Yeah.
This season's been fun though. Like I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it a ton, and
I really
whatever.
liked how I liked that when the thing here, and here's some stuff specifically at the very end when we have the Moff Gideon showdown. First off, I think Moff Gideon was a clone. Like, I think the real Moff Gideon wasn't there at all. But I felt like Grogu was underused. Like, don't get me wrong, it was cool noticing that when he does the Force shield, he didn't get quite as like he's more in tune with. You can tell his you can tell his training with Luke. He gained a lot of ground in his time with him.
Well, and what he needed was for Mando to be in danger, to unlock that where he could actually make it,
Oh
because
yeah,
that's when
he's
it
like
comes out. Anytime like about to hurt Mando, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, he's like Gohan from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like, he don't want to fucking do any of this shit. But when he gets stressed the fuck out, his hidden abilities kick in, and then it's like, oh, they fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
And it was cool that, like, even though I liked the whole mech suit thing concept, I hate that they destroyed it. But it was cool seeing Grogu reenact his jump training that he had with Luke.
Yeah.
Like, because you were like, oh, he's doing his Jedi shit. Look at the puppet go, whatever, But I felt like that was an underwhelming moment because whenever the Praetorian Guard's about to kill Mandalorian and you start hearing no, 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 and you turn around and you see Grogu pissed off hitting that, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna lure him into this room and he's gonna force crush all three of them at once. Like, I was hoping something like a really uncontrollable, like a moment where Grogu's kind of sort of embraced the dark side. Like, he's like, no, I'm not just gonna put you down. I'm gonna fucking kill your ass, dude. Like, but I don't know. I felt like he was kind of underused in that moment. But it was cool when he was doing shit where, like, they were trying to kill Mando, but like he would stop their weapon from moving, or he'd push one out of the way. Like they were like they had a 1-2, like they had an army of two thing going on.
You did good, kid.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah. And how badass was them wrecking that fucking ship into the base?
Oh yeah. I thought that dude was gonna leave.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna take that ship, leave. I was like, this motherfucker's snake, but nah, dude.
I can't believe there were no betrayals.
Yeah,
And
I was expecting one.
I thought that the woman was the armor.
Yeah,
I thought she was gonna do it.
Yeah,
when she
was
went out, I was like,
dude.
oh, and and it had you because it's like she made her pull her helmet off and she's stirring shit up.
Well, even visually speaking, now that I think about it, like, she had spikes on her helmet. Gideon did. Like, as far as like overarching other Star Wars shit that it connects to, I was at least hoping that in the dialogue from Gideon, you know how, like, in the Jack Black episode, we find out that Christopher Lloyd was a Dooku loyalist.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's going to be cool if we run into people who were like, no, I believed in this guy. And you're like, I know who that was. And he was fucked up,
Yeah.
Well, like, it would have been cool if we found out Gideon was a Darth Maul loyalist or something. Like, he was just like, somewhere off screen, we realized Maul had a larger following of people who were like, no, dude, like, we may not be acknowledged by you, but we believe in what the fuck you're doing.
Make the galaxy great again.
Yeah. Make the menace great again,
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it though overall. I mean, there was a couple of things, but like, I don't know, great characters, great concept, great like everything.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean, regardless how it ended, I had a good time watching it, and the moments between Mando and Grogu are getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
I
Because
wonder when
any
it comes
time when
back if there'll be like a time jump, a little bit of a,
I
it'd be
hope so.
nice,
know?
man. Yeah. Well, like have it to where, you know, Grogu can at least put simple sentences together.
Yeah.
Like I want like or like I want to eat or like let's eat, let's food. You know, like just something that you would think the natural progression of a species that old would get through whatever time jump.
Yeah. He needs to get him some hooked on phonics or something.
Well, I was really hoping they'd keep the mech suit and they'd straight Congo the shit out of him, where he has like a thing that can either read his mind and be like have a voice box that's like, you know, we need to go, let's leave, and like you could even have it to where Taika Waititi is the voice of Grogu using the mech suit.
Yeah. Well, I think the natural progression is like when they bring him back and they can start developing his speech pattern, make him a little bit bigger, a little older,
Yeah.
and like at the end of it, he takes the vow,
Oh,
and
dude, or
they
even
re-
or dude, a
yeah,
moment where he's talking like that, and we finally get that first moment where Grogu looks at Mando and he's like, "We got to go, we got to split," or you know, they're getting split up, you know, or some shit like this, and he says some stuff like, "This ain't goodbye," and the last thing we get when he turns around and looks at him is something, you know, like it's some Jedi. He turns around and goes, "May the Force be with you," and then he fucking leaves, and you're like, "Oh God, this
yeah.
puppet's making me cry," you know.
Puppeteers. Get it, puppeteers,
Yeah.
puppeteers.
Mhm.
Well, I got a little bit of movie news here. If y'all want to tackle this real quick. So, Beetlejuice 2 has been officially announced by Warner Brothers. So, it's finally official. Beetlejuice 2 is in the works. It's been announced by Warner Brothers that the long gestating sequel is in development, though this follows months of rumors that the sequel was finally getting on the right track. Per Screen Rant, Warner Brothers made the announcement during the studio's panel at CinemaCon, though not much else was announced beyond the confirmation that the sequel is in development. It's unclear if Michael Keaton will return to the role, though it seems likely given his interest in doing so in the past. He's also had no issue in revisiting classic Tim Burton characters as seen by his return as Batman for the upcoming movie The Flash. There have been rumors flaring about the movie's casting. It was previously reported in March that Wednesday star Jenna Ortega was being eyed for the major role in the film. Stranger Things star Sadie Sink had been up for the same part before turning it down, according to the rumor mill. It was also reported that Keaton was expected to come back with Burton also returning to the director's chair. So it's very interesting that like, because dude, this has been churning
A
for a hot minute.
minute.
Yeah,
But man, do we really
Yes, we do.
does does this movie
As long as
risk?
it's Michael Keaton. Hey,
yeah.
But
we wasn't sure about another Ghostbusters movie.
but
I
man,
mean,
that just is almost two lightning in a bottle, though, man.
but it's got to be
That
Well,
was some
Keaton.
stars. That was some stars
I ain't watching
aligning.
if it don't have Keaton in it.
yeah, for real, right?
I mean, I'll definitely watch it. I grew up on Beetlejuice, both the movie and the cartoon, man. So I'm right there with y'all in hype, but I can't help but be nervous.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a natural reaction, you know? So, Joe Russo predicts that making movies with AI will be the norm in 2 years. So, the rise of AI is just getting started. From custom illustrations, imagining anything you might desire, to having AI literally scripting out stories, many people are wondering how the phenomenon will be affecting the entertainment industry in the coming years. It's a question that was poised to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame co director Joe Russo, and as far as he sees it, it's looking like AI will be full on making movies in Hollywood within a couple of years. Russo explained how this is the latest step in the advancement of technology. It's going to be embraced by Gen Z as they grew up with it and know how to use it. He says that this is different from an out of touch uncle who doesn't know how to send emails, and surmises that young filmmakers will be utilizing AI for the creative process of their films in the near future, and it's probably only going to grow from there. As Russo explains, filmmakers will essentially have the ability to fully script out a feature film and even mimic the people in it, whether it's themselves or even dead celebrities. This is what Russo had to say about it. Potentially, what you could do with it is obviously use it to engineer storytelling and change storytelling. So you have a constantly evolving story, either in a game or in a movie or a TV show. You could walk into your house and save the AI on your streaming platform. Say, hey, I want a movie starring my photoreal avatar and Marilyn Monroe's photoreal avatar. I want it to be a rom-com because I've had a rough day, and it renders a very competent story with dialogue that mimics your voice. It mimics your voice, and suddenly now you have a rom-com starring you that's 90 minutes long, so you can curate your story specifically to you.
That's
That's
insane.
wild.
I don't like that.
I don't either. Um, I feel like, well, but like, here's the thing though with these AI programs, man. Yeah, they can create a script, but it doesn't understand what a script is. It doesn't know,
Well,
like,
it'll
it
get
doesn't
better over
understand.
time.
Yeah, I mean, through machine learning, absolutely. But it's still like, it's still at its, even where we're at now with AI, it's still fucking stupid. Like, in terms of what it could be.
I didn't say that.
What it will
AI.
be. See, I don't have access to GPT-5, so can't really talk
Yeah.
about that one.
Well, because
Right.
like,
It did
well,
pass the bar with higher score than the other
well, the
one
thing
did, but
about it though, man, is that is if it was on, if it's on the final product of being a super intelligence, the last thing that it would be is a fucking app we can download.
yeah.
Like, we wouldn't know about it.
But it would be cool to make a movie, with no budget.
Oh,
Like if we had an idea, it's like, you can make a
I
show, a cartoon,
oh, I agree, and I
and you can hit
happily.
render it as many times as you want, pull the best bits.
Yeah.
The
Well,
better the
see,
keywords, the better.
but you and I both know that, like, it's gonna be exciting when we finally get to the trailer list and we see that trailer where when we hit play, the thing comes up on screen and goes, "The movie you're about to watch was written entirely using AI." Those first couple of films that we have, that's gonna be cool as shit. But I think, kind of like with stuff like Midjourney and everything, because humans are so good at pattern finding, or because that's what we're geared to do, we're gonna see recycled parts. And it's not like, it's almost gonna be like, yeah, it's a fun thing we did. We fucked with that Rubik's Cube a bit, but now we're just gonna sit it on our desk and never fuck with it again. Like, I think it'll happen. There'll be a spurt for a little while, and then good old fashioned filmmaking will come back and take supremacy.
Well, here's the thing, and this is something that I saw someone post this on Reddit or Twitter about AI. And this is kind of where it started to make a little bit more sense to me in terms of like use case scenario. They're like, anybody can be like, "Hey, AI, generate me this image," and you describe the image and it does it. I've been using AI a lot here lately with developing stuff, like just to like see if it's balanced because it can run calculations so quickly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a lot faster to use an AI to do something than to get a group of people together and like actually sit down and test something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so that's the thing. That's the perfect use case for AI just from a artistic standpoint, and I'm going to consider film an art form in this point, is like your ability to go in there and it's like, okay, these are the ideas that I have for a story. This is the script that I have for a story. Can you fact check this or look through the infinite cinema to
Yeah.
see has this been done before? If so, how closely related are the two things? Like, is this problematic for any reason whatsoever? Like, is there something in this that some people might find offensive? Like, Those are the practical use cases. Artists being able to draw something and then have the AI embellish what has been drawn instead of like being an artist and then also having to learn how to use a tool like Photoshop or something else to embellish on their artwork. That is perfect use cases, in my opinion, for AI. But having it sitting down and say, I want a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
and Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson, and I want it to be a gangster movie. I don't want that because it's going to be cheap and generic, just like Trav said.
Well,
It's going to,
also too, man, like you're only going to be fascinated by the output of a machine for so long before it's so commonplace that you actually are going to want the nuances of a human made artwork.
yeah,
Because if it's perfect, seamless, everything looks great, like you're only going to take that sterilized, perfect thing for so long before you realize, you know what, imperfections is what makes the experience kind of worthwhile.
yeah,
Like for instance, in the case with Ant-Man and Quantumania, it's not by any stretch of the imagination a perfect film. Far, far, far from it. But it's not terrible. But you can tell a human put effort into writing that thing.
yeah. A
Like,
group of humans put effort into
and
writing
now,
it.
Well, and
now,
they're using AI for film treatments already.
Yeah,
It's
like
already
that's already
happening.
happening.
But
Yeah.
they just go in there and like, give me a scenario for this, because you can make it write some pretty cool short stories. I fucked around with that one night. It wrote stories about like I had it write one about our band, and it
Oh, that's
just
cool.
spit it out, and it's like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I think it's a good tool to help
yeah,
Yeah.
because you'll have
tool.
these people that
Key
put these
word
movies
there,
out there like
man.
that movie was great, and it was like, well, it was all AI, and it's like, oh, so they had aimbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind
So
of
Walls.
when a
like,
filmmaker really makes something, they'll hold them higher because it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
well, like what would be
that was
cool is
man
if we
made.
get it. Well, what would be interesting is if we get a film where setting, location, characters, all that stuff is human made, but what the person does is go in and go, here's this character's backstory, here's this character's backstory, here's the scenario, write the dialogue.
Yeah.
How would they exchange?
Yeah.
And you could use that in a way of being like, does that capture a nuance I want, or does it bring up one that I didn't even consider?
Well, and
Yeah,
I
because you
think
can
that
do it 1,000 times, generate it.
Yeah,
yeah. But and the thing with AI, just from messing around with AI a little bit, is like the excuse me, the more information that you give it, the more
Yeah.
the more parameters that you set for it, the better it is. So if you're like, I want that gangster flick with Leonardo DiCaprio, blah 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 blah. I want it set during this time period. I want the characters to have this accent. This is the backstory for these. Like you said, Trev, like the more that you plug into it, the more real it becomes, the more believable that it becomes. And it's like at that point, just write a fucking story. Like,
but
you know what I mean?
that's also where I think the AI would also start to goof on itself, because even though it's like, all right, you have your parameters set where you're like, all right, this is a very heavy tone scene that we're dealing with this subject matter, with this blah 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 blah, and it'll write it out.
Mhm.
But it doesn't like. I'm just really gonna lowball here and really like, like say there's a sexual assault sequence that happens, and we're dealing with a scene afterwards of the characters discussing what the fuck just happened. The AI is writing it, but it's going to write it in a way that it doesn't understand the concept of sexual assault. It only knows the word and the definition. It doesn't understand the emotional ramifications of it
Yeah.
because
So
it's
you
not human. It's not.
so
It wouldn't understand how to capture a nuance.
yeah. So you would have to teach it that.
Yeah.
And at that point, just write it
Give it
yourself. Like,
examples.
yeah, that's exact. Be like, hey, go watch these YouTube videos where people are discussing their real life sexual assault situations, and then base all of this information off of, you know, to write this scene with. And then
But
at that
then,
point,
the,
you're
the
going to be doing that research anyway. So
yeah, and to me that poses the quandary of like, it's just like how does like how yeah like how does AI capture like when is it a good time to utilize it and when is it not? You know?
yeah. Well, I think that before it progresses too much, there's going to be hard locks on it. And once the hard stops are put into place for the AI, then it's going to be developed as a tool at that point forward, as opposed to this be all end all, solution to everything.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever. I think if we're smart enough as a species, we'll never allow it to become super intelligent.
Yeah.
We'll keep it on a leash where it's like, okay, you
Well,
are like you're an AI. You are beyond the general level to where you're almost super, but your only information that we have fed you is medical stuff. You have no knowledge of world history, of societal, like nothing that could help you to deduce the thing where it's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to save this human. Why? Because there's a lot of humans on this planet. What does this one matter? You know?
Yeah.
And I think it'll be very like, or like a super AI that's like, not super, but a general AI that's like, hey, uh, this thing has the whole of auto mechanical knowledge. Like, give me the most efficient way to change an exhaust kit on an X model, blah, 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 blah. Or whatever intricate problem there might be. And it'll spit it out in like fucking a matter of minutes. Like, here's what you do.
I think
You
the one
know?
you have to worry about is Google because that the CEO straight up said he's trying to make a digital god. They
Yeah.
want that
Yeah.
supercomputer that's.
And if they, but, they've got to make a hard switch, dude.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got to have a
you got to be
wall
able
it
to
hits.
for
Because
sure.
well, I mean, because the worst that's going to happen if
Well,
that
if it
if
gets
like
loose,
well if it gets loose, we have to keep it in the digital world. And I know we're getting really like almost sci-fi level shit right now, but in reality, it's the truth. We would have to almost self EMP ourselves and start from scratch to get rid of it. Because if it's everywhere, it would be like imagine Stuxnet with a fucking brain.
Yeah.
Like it could just go into any system and just cause as much damage as it wants. And not even because it wants to, it's just because like its existence as a whole just fucking wrecks everything. Because it's just pounding systems with information and it can't handle it. So, I mean, maybe in a way it would be constricted only to its supercomputer or server room.
I can't wait for
Because,
all the movies about the AI made by the
well, like,
AI.
yeah, like I said, I look forward to those first few films that utilize it because they're going to be groundbreaking. They're going to be different. They're going to be something fresh and new. But I don't think it's going to have the staying power as like an AI that's going to be like, good morning, Dirt Lord. Your stool levels were measured when you used the bathroom, and you're operating at 95% capacity this morning. Would you like a banana? Like I don't think it's
Hmm.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that Russo's buying into that so heavily. Like, I I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he's part of like that AI board thing, or whatever. But it is what it is. But next up here, Schwarzenegger sets big screen action movie return in Breakout. So, action movie superstar and Hollywood icon Arnold Schwarzenegger will soon be back on the big screen. The Terminator star will lead the upcoming action thriller Breakout from the Expendable 4 director Scott Wow. A report by Deadline reveals, with the project now being launched by financer Anton Corp in anticipation of the Cannes market. You can check out the synopsis for Breakout below. When his stepson Daniel is framed and sentenced to 25 years in a foreign country, Reynolds makes a daring jailbreak to save him and must overcome an overzealous prison warden in a race against time to avoid capture and flee the country.
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like 3
Wasn't there
times
a
over.
movie with him and Stallone in it where they broke out of a prison?
Yeah,
think
it's called
so.
Jailbreak.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or
So,
no, or Escape Room or
That's
some
it,
shit like
something.
that.
yeah. But he's back, I guess.
We got a trailer
So,
with him in it later.
hell yeah,
Netflix.
dude.
It's
Okay.
not on the big screen, but
Yeah, of course.
some screens are big that play Netflix.
Yeah. Next up here, Alec Baldwin participating in documentary about Rust tragedy. So production on Rust has resumed in Montana, and simultaneously star Alec Baldwin is participating in a documentary being made about the death of cinematographer Halna Hutchins. In October 2021, Baldwin was preparing to film a scene for the Western when the prop gun he was holding discharged a live round, killing Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza. Production was shut down immediately as a lengthy investigation commenced. Criminal charges were filed against Baldwin in relation to the accident, but they have since been dropped. Now, per Variety, details have emerged about a documentary that filmmaker Rory Kennedy is working on, which will detail the Rust accident. Baldwin was working with Kennedy on the doc, and the director was seen filming the actor in New York as he prepared to travel to Montana to resume filming Rust. Kennedy and her documentary team are also reportedly on the Montana set to record footage of the production to be used for the documentary. It's one of multiple documentaries about the Rust tragedy that are currently in the works. This is separate from another doc that will focus primarily on the aftermath of the incident. This one from director Rachel Mason and producer Julie Metz. Hutchins' widow, Matthew Hutchins, is cooperating with this doc to tell his late wife's story. So, he was in trial not too long ago, right? Or litigation or whatever,
Yeah.
because of all this
All
stuff that
charges
was.
have been dropped.
Yeah.
They're charging the armor. His defense said that the gun had been modified so it could go off without pulling trigger.
But
That
is
was their
that true
defense.
though?
I mean, that's what they said.
Well,
It's
It's-
crazy.
it's-
It's in bad taste that he would participate in a documentary. I will say that.
well, it's in bad taste that they would try to finish the movie. First of all,
Yeah.
Second of all, it's in bad taste that because here's what this article sounds like to me. Alec Baldwin is headlining a documentary to prove his innocence.
Yep.
That's
That's what he's doing.
and then
He's trying to make it,
Yeah.
no, this is the real story.
Yeah. And then in other news, Matthew Hutchins, widower of
Helena Hutchins.
Helena Hutchins, is spearheading a documentary trying to tell the true story of what actually happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's very weird.
Well,
It's a very
he has the right to do that.
yeah.
That's his wife. But him participating in a documentary, trying to clear his name, it's like, okay, sure, the gun was modified. Why the fuck did it have real bullets in it?
Exactly.
Well, it's the armor's fault. Armor wasn't there that day.
Yeah.
Producer gave you the gun.
Yeah.
You were also a
So-
producer. And
Yeah.
you skipped the safety training. Skipped it all. He
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to shoot. That's fuck all that.
This should have been one of those movies that could have been. Like, it should have just been scrapped, and we just left to speculate what the movie could have,
I'm not watching
been.
it.
No.
I don't even want
It's-
to see it.
This is a bad look for Baldwin all the way around, man. Like, I get, things happen. I understand that. But there's still a certain level of accountability that you have
Why
to
couldn't he
take.
accept it? Like,
Yeah.
I did. I mean, it was an accident, completely accident, but it happened.
But he's
So
this
sorry.
anti-gun guy, right?
Yes,
Like,
big time.
the anti-gun guy shoots somebody because
Because he didn't want to take gun safety training
exactly
on the set,
right.
which was mandatory,
Yeah.
by the way.
So It's a bunch of bullshit, if you ask me. It's it's not a good look for him at all. So
No.
next up here, Evil Dead Rise director has another horror franchise he would love to direct. So Evil Dead Rise is all set to deliver on its promise of being one of the most brutal and bloody movies of the long-running franchise as it arrives in theaters this weekend. For director Lee Cronin, it has been a labor of love to be part of the franchise, and while many may be questioning the chances of a sequel, especially following Bruce Campbell's update on plans for Evil Dead's future, Cronin would love to get his hands on another iconic horror franchise. While speaking to comicbook.com, Cronin was asked about another movie franchise he would like to be a part of, as well as noting that he would like to take a stab at something within the Lord of the Rings. He also he would also not be able to say no to taking a walk down Elm Street if he was given the chance. So this is what he said. It's a great question. There's not many, and I definitely don't want to be the franchise refreshment director. The one that I find really hard to not have, what I did with Evil Dead when it was brought to me, was I just went and had a good old think about it for a long time. And that was the terrifying part, was I might have to say no if I don't find a story that I want to tell. So the only other one that would put me in the position where I'd be like, there's two things and they're tonally different. I'd find it very difficult to not have a stab at something in the Lord of the Rings world because I'm a big fan. That's something that I feel like my skills as a filmmaker, they're not bound just by the obvious trappings of horror. I think I could create something on that large canvas. But then back to the horror world, the one that I would find really, and I find it really hard to pass up the opportunity, would be something in the A Nightmare on Elm Street universe. I mean, I'm gonna try to go watch Evil Dead this weekend, and like, if it's as good as they say that it is, put him on it. You know, sign him
Yeah.
up. And with the Lord of the Rings, like, it can't be any worse than that series they came out with. So,
Mhm.
like, why not? You know. But yeah, let him have it. All right, Beer Fest 2 Pot Fest talks are happening at Warner Brothers. So, you know, Beer Fest 2 or Beer Fest came out what, like 15 years ago at this point? 2006 was when it was released. And they talked about a sequel called Pot Fest. But ever since then, the film seems to be stuck in development hell, leading fans to wonder if it will ever see the light of day. Not all hope is lost, however, as Broken Lizard's I can never pronounce this dude's last name, I'm not even going to try, provided an optimistic update on the project in a new interview with Nerdtropolis. He says that they're currently in talks with Warner Brothers about making the film, as the studio owns the rights and would need to greenlight the project. With the ball in the studio's court, it's not up to Broken Lizard team to decide, but the group remains hopeful that Potfest in fact gets made. This is what he said. We're discussing it with Warner Brothers because they own the sequel, so we are hoping to get it made. Yeah, that's the hope. So it came out in 2006. Like, if
You know,
Well,
if
they've got
Warner
that
Brothers,
show out now.
yeah,
So they've
yeah,
been making the rounds. I heard them on a podcast talking about
I,
possibly getting it
I
made.
I always remember that scene from the first beer fest where that dude's climbing down off that ladder. He goes, "I'll show you how to drink a fucking beer."
there's so many memorable moments. It's $1 to touch it. Dollar, no, it's $1 to look at it. $2 to touch it. $3 to watch me touch it. It's like, dude. But yeah, I would totally be like, and it would be the perfect time to do it. You know, they wouldn't have to travel to it. I mean, of course, they'd probably set it in Amsterdam, right? Because you know, Amsterdam. But
Or California.
yeah, California. Indiana Jones 5 director teases opening 25-minute long flashback sequence.
Yeah,
So
I know we were at the end here, but I saw this during one of the other articles and was like, man, this seems pretty fucking cool.
So, set in the late 1960s, the film will find Indy away from his busy life as an adventurer, retired after continuing to teach at the university. However, the sudden arrival of his goddaughter, Helena, will take away his recently known tranquility and lead him to the greatest of his adventures to date. The young woman informs him that her father and Indy's friend Basil found a mysterious object on a train that made him lose his mind. With the help of the legendary archaeologist, they will try to solve the mystery behind the object without knowing that they will end up involved behind a huge conspiracy that includes a former Nazi boss with terrifying plans. But before reaching its present, Indiana Jones 5 will invite fans on a journey into the past with an incredible sequence set in 1944, and that's where technology will make its big display, using a de-aging process on Harrison Ford. In a chat with Total Film Magazine, Mangold explained how the scene was made and the advantages provided by the VFX department in the final results. I just shot him and he just pretended that he was 35. Mangold describes Ford as an incredibly gifted and agile actor. But the technology involved is a whole other thing. We had hundreds of hours of footage of him in close-ups and mediums and wides and in every kind of lighting, night and day. I could shoot Harrison on a Monday, as you know, a 79-year-old playing a 35-year-old, and I could see dailies by Wednesday and his head already replaced. The director also explained the importance of the sequence with the rest of the movie. I just focus on shooting what's approximately a 25-minute opening extravaganza that was my chance to just let it rip. The goal was to give the audience a full body taste of what they missed so much. Because then, when the movie lands in 1969, they're going to have to make an adjustment to what it is now, which is different from what it was. That's crazy. 25 minutes. So the movie's going to at least be 3 hours long, right?
Well, it is Harrison Ford's last portrayal of Indiana Jones. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think there's key words there. Like he's going to give us a good 25 to 30 minutes of just Indiana fucking Jones.
Yeah. Being a
And then
badass.
it's going to be the hand in the torch shit to the goddaughter, probably.
Yeah.
2 hours and 22 minutes.
So, wow, okay. Well, I guess they could tell an Indiana Jones story in 2 hours, you know? But still, though, that's insane, like legitimately. So, I'm
I love the
interested.
I love the bottom of this on here at the bottom of the article. It says the idea of a reboot of the saga was also considered, but that was never confirmed since many fans considered that only Harrison Ford should play the character. And I agree. There will only be one Indiana Jones, and no
Oh, yeah.
reboot will ever fix that.
I mean, they'll try later on, but
They'll fall on his
yeah,
face.
they'll be like, okay, we tried.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you can't replace Doc Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so,
But yeah, man, I thought that was cool, dude. 25-minute scene where we're getting just fucking de-aging, like the money, you know. That's
yeah.
where that's at. So
Give us the money, Harrison. He's like, oh.
where's the fucking money?
It makes me want to go back and watch that original trilogy. I could put any of those original trilogy, specifically Raiders of the Lost Ark, in
You
right now.
damn
I
right,
mean,
my
we should
man.
do it when this one comes out. We
Do
should build
are
up
we
to the
gonna do
release.
all
I
all
mean,
four of
yeah.
them? All right.
Yeah. We go hard in the paint here, Griffin, in
I have
case
a
you ain't
feeling we'll
figured that
like
out.
Crystal Skull a little more than we did when it came out.
Yeah, I think the rewatch will put it in
Yeah.
better perspective.
Had a few years to smoke on it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm down with that. We got June Wick. When does Indiana Jones 5 come out? It's
Ah,
it's in the summer, right?
let's see. June 30th.
Oh, so well, we can lead up to it whenever it releases on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. That would be
Yeah.
because I'm still debating on if I want to go to the theater and see it or not. There's so many like I want to go watch Evil Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Flash. Like there's a lot that's coming out
Um,
soon.
I keep my movie going minimal. and I'm holding out for the Flash, dude.
Yeah. Whenever we set a day up, Trav, I'll let you know, and we'll try to swing it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
Before,
go ahead.
no, I'm changing the subject.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's probably just gonna be me and my brothers anyway. So
We
Yeah,
three.
man.
yeah.
Usually, if I go, it's going to be on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, man. So that's usually my, unless I can get out early enough on the weekend, but
Mhm.
it'll be summer, so who knows? But
Tuesday, huh?
We'll figure it out.
well,
coming.
not Tuesday. It'd be Monday or Wednesday. My bad. Unless we catch a Tuesday matinee.
Man, hey.
What I was gonna say before we watched the trailers, I didn't get a chance. I was looking at it because I was like, wonder when the other one. But Beer Fest, it's been 17 years. They're gonna maybe do the next one. It was 17 years when they made Super Troopers 2.
Okay, yeah.
So
Makes
Coinky
sense.
dinky.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was doing like a Kevin Smith connect the dots thing.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
He's like, well, this movie, I wrote this when I was 21, so we got to release it on the 21st day of the same month that it came out when I wrote. He's always trying to connect shit like that. It's just like, dude, just fucking put it out.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck, Kevin. Kevin. I'm ready for trailers though. We got some decent looking ones in here.
This name would be this first trailer would be a really badass name for an album.
All the light we cannot see.
Let's
I think
peep
it is a metal album. I'm ready.
It definitely sounds like one.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Is this our boy
Ruffalo? Ruffalo.
Ruffaho?
Ruffa Joe.
World War II.
Wrote book. I did not see them coming.
It looks sad.
Yeah.
That means it's gonna be good.
Oh, Sean Levy. Okay.
We're gonna see these people's lives just slowly deteriorate, dude. Was that House?
It look like him.
We got that Fifth Element Gary Oldman in a Nazi suit going on.
It is House. Miniseries.
We're gonna see the occupation of France through Germany, aren't we? Dude, look at that.
Not one word was said.
No. Didn't need to.
Oh, because the person doesn't talk. That was Braille.
They're blind.
That was a great trailer.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna have a chance to have some really like it's gonna be that thing where we have all these cinematic shots, but we have the bittersweet of knowing that the main character can't experience it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
Oh, we got a Zell? We got some
you ready
Zell
to see
trailers?
Zell whoop some ass?
Of course.
For a third time.
Yeah.
I'm always ready to
Like,
see
you want to go home,
Zell.
you will go to jail. No, you like to get wet.
You thought I was shot up by the Russians?
It's like the original John Wick. Y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
3,
It's
2,
John
1,
Quick.
play.
Mm-hmm.
Man on
Damn.
fire.
This ain't even a Red Band trailer, you know what I'm saying? Like, she. Oh, it is a Red Band.
Oh, I looked down.
Like the end of fucking Taxi Driver the next day.
It's complicated. That works too. Oh, you're going to have to break bad one more time, dude.
Yeah.
One more time.
He's about to equalize the fuck out of these people. You just car bombed the wrong motherfucker.
It's like I can't cure it, but I can equalize it. He about to whoop somebody's ass. He's probably going to die to save him. That's the last one. Damn.
Damn. Okay. I think I watched the first one or some of the first one, but kind of want to go back and check them out. Zell kicking ass. He
Man on
like,
fire.
yeah. Yeah. So we finally get the first trailer for White Men Can't Jump, huh?
White Man Can't Jump was a movie that we owned when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I've
same.
watched it.
On VHS?
Yeah, a few times. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Billy.
You can't duplicate the chemistry Woody and Wesley had. That was the top
Nah.
comment here. I mean, they
It's
gonna
going to be
try.
like that house party
Yeah.
movie. All right.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, play. Dude, how hot was Rosie Perez in the original?
I know, right?
That side boob. So this is the rapper. Well, I say rapper. This will be this kid's first movie. Huh. $500,000?
That's a lot of money.
Who's putting the money up for this fucking
Elon.
It's a burn. Most people watching this don't know who the fuck Richard Simmons is, but
I know.
there's your Elon.
Fuck.
That's the Elon flamethrower.
Man,
I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not recruit Dave for this movie.
I know, right? He would have been perfect, right?
For
Yeah.
sure. That would have me on board.
Yeah, for sure, right?
I mean, the character acts like Lil Dicky.
Yeah.
Like a dollar store Dickie, you know?
Yeah,
Dollar Dicky.
discount Dicky.
Double D.
And he plays basketball, so
I mean, he can hoop.
yeah. He said anyway, I like, yeah. He like, yeah.
Yeah, he can hoop. Fruit of the loop.
Have you seen
Jim
Jim?
with the Blacks? He watched it.
Man, what a
Oh,
saga.
it was great. Robots. What's this about?
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Why did he just push her away like that?
What the fuck?
E2.
It's hilarious.
What the fuck?
Childish. So his robot fell in love with her robot?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Fuck.
She's feral.
That's an interesting concept.
For a rom-com, it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
I
one of
wouldn't
the
be
creators of
upset.
Borat.
Yeah.
Robots.
Fubar.
Robots.
Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Well, it's got Schwarzenegger in it.
He's like, don't worry, I'll save you.
It's got Schwarzenegger.
I'm here to pump you up.
It's funny that this was posted by Netflix India.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
it's going to be Bollywood.
dude, if he's out there dancing,
Wait,
shoot.
is it? Wait, wasn't there a Bollywood movie called Fubar?
We did watch a trailer for a Fubar. So this might be a remake.
Dude,
Yeah.
look, I hope.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. This guy's comment, he says, legends never retire, they terminate. Nope.
I thought,
His acting.
yeah.
Language. I feel like you're not good at your job if you're in the CIA and you don't know your daughter's also in the CIA.
Yeah, right.
Oh. Oh, God. Damn. It's more of a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Comedy drama. And it's a series.
Really?
Yeah. It's a season. Eight episodes. Well, let me think what I want to think.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it looks silly. Like, I don't know. It looks silly. High desert.
Just
It's
gotta
that
watch
ice
her name
cream with
in it.
terpenes sprinkled on it.
Arquette. What's her first name?
Trisha?
I think that's
Is it
her.
Patricia?
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Can't leave a comment. It's Apple.
There's some solid actors in this.
What the
Damn.
fuck?
What the fuck just happened?
Comedy series.
It looks,
There's
it's
a,
got potential.
yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah,
It better be
like
a series.
yeah. What the fuck? What's behind the green door?
Another Insidious movie.
Wow, over there
Can't
on the
wait.
side, the first one came out 2011.
Yeah.
Can't believe this became a series even. I mean, the first one wasn't bad, but like it wasn't like, all right, man, guess we're franchising now.
Yeah.
This guy says finally a sequel to the original two. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen
think
any
that
of them, so
I think the third and fourth one were like prequels or something,
Mm.
or like offshoots.
I always
There's
left it alone at one. I never even bothered with the sequel, man.
same demons, possession.
is that what this is?
Well, I
Oh.
mean, well, because like, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the original movie was a James Wan Lee Whannell thing,
Yeah.
and like, as far as movie one for the movies that they do, like Saw and shit, like they make bangers, but it's when they start sequelizing them that they fucking suck.
Yeah.
So they don't direct this one, but they are producers along with Jason Bloom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bloom House Productions. Let's check it out. 3, 2, 1, play. Sick ain't the fucking word. Tiptoe through the tulips? What?
That it was a big part of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Oh. Ugh. Was she in the original?
Yeah.
It's the chick from
And
Kingpin.
yeah, she was in like some of the sequels were just about her.
Okay.
So, I just noticed there in the last little bit of credits, it says the story was by so Wynell did come in back with the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Patrick Wilson, dude, he directed this.
Patrick Wilson did.
Yeah, that's the star, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's what I will say about it. So the first one comes out, kind of falls into that, possession thing, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
this looks like it looks like it's turned into like a creature feature
Yeah.
almost. You know what I mean?
I like the way it's
Stranger
shot.
Things is shit, man.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It makes me
It's
kind
like
of want to do a dive on it.
Well, it's like Wynell was like, okay, people want that kind of shit. And I've been wanting to do that kind of shit. So here we go. Right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I'm interested. I mean, that it
Yeah.
looks very interesting because it doesn't look like the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way it's shot.
I'll let it cook.
Yeah. Let it stew. Finally, Fast X trailer 2.
Oh, dude.
We got to do these at some point, man. I know.
Start a whole podcast just for
Griffin, if we do these movies, I don't care if there's 10 to 14 more. If we watch all of Fast and Furious instead of all of James Bond, I'm going to be a little bit aggravated.
We can spread it out.
I like how the channel's the Fast Saga.
Yeah. 1.8 million subscribers. Jesus. Not all races can be won. Hashtag FastX.
I would have never thought in a million years that there would be 10 of these goddamn movies.
All about family.
There's going to be 11 soon.
Yeah.
Stop. Print money.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. I know there's going to be a car coming out of an airplane. 3, 2, 1, play. Got to happen, right?
Yeah.
Or going into an airplane. I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
It was like real Need for Speed. What's happening?
It's a bomb, dude. He's got to stop it with his car.
Well, this is... What's that game? Damn.
What is he fucking dressed like?
He's a genie, dude.
It's like Dommy. Oh God, Jason Statham.
His name was Dougie.
I'm still trying to get over him Rocket Leaguing that ball around.
Yeah.
What's she doing there?
It's a rock.
What's Captain Marvel doing then? Okay. Charlize Theron.
I think she's his sister or something.
Momoa's really leaning into that Drexel.
Yeah.
No. Fuck it. Punch it. The wheels were melting off the car.
Looks pretty good, dude. I might have to go to the movies and check it out, man. I watched 7 of them. I haven't watched the last 3, you know.
It was pretty good.
It looked pretty good, man.
All right, Cannonball Run.
I mean, dude, when you look like, how the fuck do they get? Anyway, I don't even know. All that star power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A
Almost.
lot of mindless audience goers.
Well, punch it, Trav.
Hey, what am I? I'm just a fucking grown ass kid that watches Marvel films. What do
Punch
I
it.
know? But
All right, we got a little animated.
That's how we should end the podcast from now on. Punch it, Adam. All right, I'm ready for this mulligan.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
What about golf? Nope.
Gotta.
Is this Mark Wahlberg?
The guy doing the voice in this is the guy. Oh, and that frog. You told me it was doing the frog in the Toad movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the main guy. That was Weird Al. It's like Mars Attacks meets Idiocracy.
Yeah.
here's
Daniel
what I've
Radcliffe
learned
does the
about a lot
voice.
of Netflix animation. It's really boring because it rehashes the same humor over and over.
Daniel Radcliffe plays King Jeremy.
Jeremy spoken class today.
Fucking Toad.
I'm
We
actually
got the trailer.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about this.
Trav, you
I
remember these books?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
I love the animation style.
Why is it muffled?
You know, here's my thing. Considering what we just saw and how long these books have been around, why haven't they made this sooner, man?
I know, right?
Like
Like when
this
we were
would,
kids.
yeah, it would have been excellent children's programming, dude.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like it should have been on PBS.
Absolutely, man. Like, I'm all for some, like, as someone who raised kids, dude, like, I'm all for like good shit like that. Like, it's just straight up, like, it just teaches you morals, fucking friendship, all that. So it's all the good check marks of like, if you're gonna let your child watch TV, like your small child, that's a banger for that, you know?
Yeah. That's my niece likes to watch Bluey,
Oh, I've heard that's real
and
big.
dude, it is fucking funny as shit. I don't like they're Australian. It's crazy, but it's for a kids show, like a young kids show. It's
But yeah,
pretty
but it's more key dangling than like, hey, I'm gonna teach you something. These characters are gonna go on an adventure and they're gonna learn what insert fucking virtue, you know?
yeah. All right, what is this? Kazavethi Morkan?
The E-man.
Oh,
Oh, Bollywood.
I'm ready for it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. He stops talking.
hmm
Cops.
He's just
He's got
mean mugging
yeah, I
everyone.
was fixing to say he's got that mean mud down.
About a guy who mean mugs the whole fucking town.
Holy shit.
It's walking tall. Oh, I like
He
how
just
his voice has reverb outside.
yeah. He just beat all the ass, dude.
I don't know if you guys saw, but a few hours ago,
I haven't seen that.
haven't either.
Juicy bit? Juicy bit, probably.
Upgrading the quality. Ooh, 4K. All right, y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. The Flash trailer 2. Damn.
God, I'm so fucking ready for this shit, dude.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh, oh, that's so cool. Batman
Oh, did
is
you
in this
notice the
movie a
bat plane
lot,
in the
right?
moon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dude, that dude, this shit
that's a
looks
fucking
fucking
Batman
amazing.
movie.
dude. Remember, like several months ago, where they're like, "We're recutting the Flash and we're cutting all of the Michael Keaton Batman shit out of it."
Yeah,
How the fuck? Just based off of this trailer
I
that was
mean,
2 minutes and 51 seconds long, how in the fuck were they going to release this fucking movie without having Michael Keaton as Batman?
well, there was
He's
more
like,
Batman than Flash in that trailer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
God, I got chills several
Hype, yeah.
fucking times,
I'm
dude.
so fucking excited for this movie, dude.
Definitely gotta go to
Yeah,
the theater.
I know people are like, fuck Ezra Miller. And sure, you can jump on that
Sure, fuck him
bandwagon. I'm
too,
right
but
there with you. What he
still
did
want to
is
watch it.
bullshit. This movie gets my $10 anyway.
well, I'm in it for Keaton.
Oh, dude, yeah. But no, I'm gonna go out there and dude, even the flash sequences look fucking insane.
Yeah, for sure. Andy Muschietti,
I was
dude.
just looking at that.
Yeah, Mama,
I
Mama
mean,
Mia. Remember 10, 15 years ago, we watched that Mama short,
yeah.
like, and
Wait,
he's
he
come,
created that?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I didn't know he came from the short.
yeah, he made the short,
Whoa.
and yeah, right,
Started on the bottom, now he's on the top.
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
dude. If the reception for this Flash movie is good, especially with Keaton, they may
I mean,
continue to do Keaton
he still
Batman.
got it.
Dude, I got chills so much.
You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
Let's get nuts.
God, I'm so excited, man.
Mm.
It looks fucking great. And the chick that's playing Supergirl,
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
like,
Fucking
I
that's
like
gonna
her.
knock it out of the park, dude. What the
yeah,
fuck happened that's making them like because there's a part in that sequence, Batman drops to his knees. Supergirl goes, "What did you do?" Like
Yeah.
what did the Flash do? Because clearly Flash fucked up somewhere.
yeah. He probably killed Zod.
Or what if Zod kills Barry
Mm.
and
Or
One
Wally.
Supergirl
of the
goes,
berries.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Supergirl just goes
Because we
fucking
got two, so
ham.
one can die, right?
Because the thing
If not
about
both.
her, the thing about her is we can get laser vision through the fucking skull. We can't
Yeah.
get that with Superman. He's got morals.
Yeah.
This chick's been in a lab
Yeah.
experiment for years. Like
She's
she don't give a
emo.
fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
she
She's
don't give
as
a
oh
shit.
well, she's as dark as Batman.
Yeah. Dude, I love her suit design.
Yeah, it's
And
nice.
I don't even know who this chick is. Like, I gotta look it up because like
I
her
know this.
demeanor.
So I know
Oh,
this is weird. Hear me out. What if somehow Muschietti is able to script a movie where the whole thing, the sequence we get where Barry's went back in time, right?
mhm.
Because I still think the secret villain of this movie is the fucking Reverse Flash. And I
Yeah.
think one of the berries is
Well,
him.
the one with the long hair where he went, no one can die. And
Yeah.
it's like, he might be the one that's
Well, what if we're
my
seeing
turn on
another
him.
Flash's actual origin story? And the Flash that we're getting from the Snyderverse is actually a misdirect. And what we're really seeing is the reverse Flash going back in time. He's figured it out. He went back, saved Barry. He changed the timeline. But because Barry got to have his mom and everything, he didn't become the Flash. So the reverse Flash wins. So
Yeah.
Barry's out of the equation. And then, well, no, because somehow they have to get the fucking, they have to, well, because in the Super Bowl trailer, you see where they're doing the experiment
Mm-hmm.
that pushes the lightning through one Flash into the, like, they are clearly trying to recreate the Flash and give the second one his powers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna try. I'm not trying to look at this through the lens of a comic book accurate adaptation because it clearly can't be. So I'm just trying to think of what type of cool
Yeah.
little pivot they've taken in the movie to make it different.
Yeah.
So she comes from the Young and the Restless.
Yeah. 273 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Good
Well,
for
she's
her.
got that
man.
acting down.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah.
I know that fight between her and Zod's going to go probably a little harder than Superman and him, which I wish it wouldn't, but it probably will. Because she's not going to hold, she's going to actually know how to utilize her shit.
Well, she's
Whereas,
pissed.
whereas with the Black Zero incident, which is the Zod fight, we were
He didn't
dealing
want
with
to kill him.
well, we were also dealing with an inexperienced Superman.
Yeah.
Like he literally had just became Superman like the
V-card.
day prior, you know?
Yeah. Man, that looks so good. It's coming out soon too. Like
It
a
was
week
like
or two.
June 18th
Was
or
it?
something. It was something.
I thought it was coming out in
I tried to keep my
May.
hype
Was it May?
for it down.
I think it is May.
I've been trying to keep my hype for this movie down and to a minimal because I want to go in with no expectations so I can still enjoy it to some degree. But this footage, man, like,
Well, they know what's up by putting more Keaton in there. They know.
Yeah.
Give them what they want. Yeah, June 16th.
Okay. I thought it was coming out in May for
we
No,
may
that's
pivot,
starting Galaxy, I think.
we may take an intermission in June week just
I'm
for
gonna
the
go
Flash,
to the
dude.
theater and watch it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel like I
that's
have
gonna
to.
be
Like,
that's
I
my
don't wanna sleep
that's
on
gonna be
this.
my theater cash in for the year, dude. I'm gonna pay and go see it.
Like, I feel like I'm fucking up if I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I feel like as soon as that movie drops, the internet's gonna be a fucking like minefield. Like, oh, I can't go there. Why? Because they're gonna be talking about the Flash. Like, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I get it.
Well, fucking next week we're going back to the Stone Ages. 65.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dinosaur movie.
We're going back to the future, literally.
Yeah.
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 Punch it.
Checks in the mail.
Wash your hands.